SPEKTRUM SkyID, this remote ID, this little module, is going to be our digital electronic license plate for our RC airplanes. So this is something that's been in the works for several years now, but the deadline is September 16th. So we've got 13 days until it's supposed to go into effect. I don't think it will. I think it'll be pushed back a little bit longer just because people aren't really ready. Even though this started a couple of years ago, you know, SPEKTRUM's module just went on sale a few weeks ago and they haven't even been delivered yet. And that's the same with some other manufacturers that are making these. So I did a video yesterday on the SPEKTRUM SkyID, the remote ID, and there was a lot of comments. And I wanted to answer some of the questions that were in the comments. If you're not familiar with the video I did last night, take a look at this real quick.
The SPEKTRUM SkyID Remote ID module helps RC pilots fly in compliance with the latest FAA Remote ID guidelines. SkyID is designed for pilots who fly in areas not considered FAA-recognized identification areas, such as backyards or public parks. Think of SkyID as a digital license plate for your aircraft. SkyID is FAA Remote ID compliant and FCC certified, and it provides RID GPS data to mobile devices. GPS data includes aircraft ground speed, altitude, position, heading, distance, and time. Weighing in at 14 grams, it is compatible with aircraft of almost any size and supports spectrum telemetry through SRXL2 and XBus. Installation is easy. First, register your SkyID serial number on the FAA Drone Zone website. You will add your device and the serial number found on the side of the SkyID module. The SkyID includes 3 different cables for easy connection to almost any receiver application. Power to the SkyID is supplied through the receiver or onboard battery. Next, install the module to your aircraft with the included hook and loop or double-sided tape. You can mount the SkyID in any location in your aircraft. Verify operation by viewing a solid LED on the device or Remote ID mobile app. Now you are ready to fly. For more information, head to SpectrumRC.com.
There were tons of comments after yesterday's videos, and the majority of them were, well, I'd say 50% to 60, maybe 65, were heck no, no way, I'm not getting it, period, not going to happen, I don't care, not going to get one. So, you know, I'm not getting tracked, the government sees enough, I'm just not doing it, not doing it, not doing it. Well, guess who this thing is really for? According to AMA's website. Look at this. The police, of all people. I thought this was an FAA, you know, for safety. You know, I thought the FAA is who is the DMV for airplanes. You know, the FAA controls the airspace to keep the airspace safe, right? So I thought that's what this was all about. So somebody wouldn't fly their drone higher than 400 feet and run into a commercial airliner. I thought this was all about, but no, apparently it's for the police. So there were tons and tons of comments. About 50, 60%, maybe 65 were, I'm not getting one, period. Not going to happen. The government sees enough. I'm not getting tracked. They might turn my plane off. Then my jet crashes. I don't need another ankle bracelet following my plane around. I'm just not doing it. So how does this thing work? This thing sends a signal to a cell phone tower. On the other end of the cell phone tower, people can see the data, such as the police, I guess. Or we can see it. There's a website and there's an app, something drone space, and you can see who's flying what, I guess, around you or across town or on the other side of the country. And the other 35 to 40% of the comments were a bunch of questions. Somebody asked, what is an FAA approved area? Well, a CBO is a community-based organization such as the AMA. A flying field like I fly at is an AMA field that belongs to a CBO. They can apply, the CBO can apply to become an FAA approved area. And if they're approved, then you don't need it. If they're not approved, then you need it. If you fly in a high school or a park, or I fly in some shopping centers, then you'll need one of these. So according to some other people that I trust their information, there is 700 approved CBOs. There have been 200 denied, and there's still about 800 in the queue to be approved or denied. The ones that were denied were because of safety. Let's say this CBO, they fly in a parking lot of a shopping mall when they're closed, but it's right next to the interstate. Then no, too dangerous, too many people. The FAA can't say that that's an approved area. You can still fly there just like you normally did, but you'll need one of these. So that is what an approved area is. And some of the other comments were, do I have to get one of these for each plane? No, you just get one, and you can move it from plane to plane to plane. Somebody else asked, they said, I don't care much about the telemetry. Do I have to use a SPEKTRUM receiver? No, you don't need a SPEKTRUM receiver to have this. This does not need to be plugged up to a receiver. All that this needs is battery power. If you have the room and your plane can handle the weight, you can get a battery or two batteries that supply this thing with the voltage it needs. I'll tell you guys the minimum and maximum voltage, and all you need to do is power it. You could maybe take a battery in that and Velcro it together and to where it's its own unit, and then you just turn it on, put it in this plane, and turn it on and put it in that one. But I think the cool thing of it is the telemetry data that it's going to give to our transmitters. And that's another question somebody had. They said, if I'm using a satellite receiver, then that won't work for them to be able to see the telemetry. This remote ID, SkyID, connected to the correct receiver that it works with, will send our transmitters telemetry data with the GPS information and ground speed and all this other cool stuff, right? So let me show you here real quick a couple of receivers I have laid out on where they can be plugged into and where they can't, and you can see this information. To see the telemetry data that the SkyID module is going to send to our transmitter, you're going to need a receiver like one of these. The telemetry data is going to be sent to the receiver that shows up on our transmitter two ways. One is through the SRXL2 plug port, which is this guy right here, on a 631 or a 630. The bind plug is also the SRXL2, and the SkyID module is going to come with the plug to either plug it into the bind to be able to see the data, or the SRXL2 plug right here. It's also sending the telemetry data through the X bus, which this right here is the X bus. So the telemetry data is going to be sent two separate ways. One through SRXL2, and the other way is through X bus. So there's two ways to get it. Someone said if they were using a satellite receiver, then you wouldn't be able to see the telemetry data. If you're using a satellite receiver with this receiver, then it only has one plug, which is also the bind. Then no, you won't be able to see the data. If you're using a satellite receiver with this style receiver and it's plugged into the SRXL2, then you still have the X bus plug available. There was a couple other comments about how far does this thing transmit. I really don't know the answer to that. I know that it sends that it's going to be talking through Wi-Fi and through Bluetooth to cell phone towers. That's how it's going to get out. If you are out in the country and a cell phone signal is hard to get, this thing's not going to work anyways, you know. So we'll see. You know, the technology is still new. Heck, we haven't even gotten them yet. They're probably still making these things. I mean, who knows? So that's all the info I got for right this second. I'll try to get some more out later on and give you guys a few more updates. So, hey, thank you guys. Until next time, you'll see me here. Adios. If you want to win a jet like this, all you have to do is subscribe. Click the like button and leave a comment. And then ring the bell so you don't miss my next video. At 1,000 subscribers, we gave this jet away. At 5,000, we're going to give another one. I don't know what it is yet. We'll see when that time comes. So hey, subscribe guys. Happy flying.